What's up, guys? This is Merc Music and welcome back to Nerd Plays. Now, could you imagine if the next 10 years of my content was leaked? Like, every little single thing that I was ever planning or going to make was just leaked. Would you be excited for that information, or do you think you'd be disappointed? I think that might have to do with, how the content actually is, or what it potentially would be. But I'm not gonna lie, over time, I've kind of noticed that leaks in general have kind of been disappointing to me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I kind of feel like leaks for video games and things like that, it kind of kills the hype. It gets me less excited for things. It kills things off. Much like this shipment lobby, which has just frozen for no good reason. What is going on? Hello? Is this game gonna work? No. Okay, cool. So you're probably wondering, Eric, why are you mentioning this in the first place? Because, I mean, clearly, I don't have 10 years of content prepared. The reason I'm... Oh my god. Zombie Ghost? That is ugly, dude. Oh my god. You get that for pre-ordering Modern Warfare 3? I still have not done that, by the way. But yes, the reason I'm mentioning all of this is because essentially Xbox and Microsoft's like 10-year plan for the company ended up getting leaked because of the whole court case between them and the FTC, because Microsoft wants to acquire Activision. What ended up happening is apparently Microsoft did not properly redact their files that they submitted for the court case. So everything ended up getting leaked, which is just insane. And on top of that, they actually apparently have to resubmit those same exact documents, the same files, but properly redacted. That is so painful. Someone over there at Microsoft is definitely getting fired. There's no way. Because it's not like some kind of small little thing. We're talking about like basically everything that they had planned just got leaked. There's a series of tweets. There's like a thread that I saw on Twitter. And I mean, literally the very first image is roadmap to 2030. We're not talking about like maybe what Xbox is going to do in the next year. We're talking about everything that they had planned, basically from 2020 to 2030. It is kind of eye-opening when we're talking about, like these massive companies, these big publishers and stuff, and their scope and their visions for games and stuff. It kind of gives us, the peasants, a better idea of how they operate, like how do they see the gaming industry? Because they're not necessarily as concerned about, what is the next video game that we're going to be playing. It seems like they are much more concerned with how is the technology going to be dictating and shaping how everything is going to be in the next 10 years. It seems like specifically for Microsoft, one of their biggest goals is to get more people on Xbox Game Pass. That's one thing that seemed very clear from these leaks, from these documents and stuff, is that they want, I think, it's something like 100 million Xbox Game Pass consumers or like customers. That seems to be one of their big goals. So I'm sure going forward, there's going to be a lot of decisions, a lot of things going on that are going to push them in that direction. To be honest, it's going to be kind of hard to play shipments and look at these tweets at the same time, but we will do our best. Now, I don't plan to cover every single tiny little leak, regardless of how important or unimportant it is. There's just too much to cover. I could be here for hours going over everything that ended up getting leaked as a part of this court case. I will link the thread in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out and see it for yourselves. If you just want the cliff notes, the important stuff, I will definitely be going over that right now. And on top of that as well, there's always a chance that all of this stuff could end up being taken down. Not necessarily my video, because I'm not going to be explicitly showing anything, but the actual tweets themselves, they might not be around for that much longer. We'll have to wait and see. I got the UAV, nice. It's definitely worth it. So here's another absolute massive name drop that came from all of this. Well, maybe not a specific name drop, but at least a timeline, a time frame for when the Xbox Series X and S are going to be obsolete. That year is going to be 2028. That's definitely interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily bad news because, like, let's say you were to buy an Xbox Series X right now, right? You are guaranteed to get at least 5 years of value out of that thing before it becomes obsolete and then Microsoft releases something better. However, aside from just next gen, there were actually 2 different consoles that it looks like Microsoft are planning. Like, I believe it's going to be essentially a refresh for the Xbox Series X and the S. And my god, I think it's the Series X that just looks like the old school Mac Pro that looks like a trash can. That's what they are planning as the refresh for the Series X, at least based off of the leaks. It could be different when it's all said and done, but that's what it looks like for now. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Series S refresh looks basically the same. At least to me, it didn't really look all that different from the other one. No, my mortar killed me. I was just about to get that guy. It looks like they're also kind of making a newish controller. It's like a half black, half white kind of controller sort of thingy. I don't know exactly how it's going to be that much different from the existing controllers. They might be trying to go in the direction of haptic feedback, kind of like what PS5 was doing with their controller. They said specifically in there that they want the controller to be like more immersive feeling and stuff. So we'll see what that's going to end up being. Oh yeah, it mentions haptic feedback. There's some other things as well that the controller's going to be doing differently. I'm not going to lie though, it looks like an Xbox controller. It might not even be that different from the existing ones. Like as a prime example too, the PS5 controller is not really that different from the PS4 controller. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually prefer the PS4 controller to the PS5 controllers. And I'm not really a big fan of the haptic feedback on the controllers. Like, I get it. It's this gimmicky technology. They want to try to make games feel more immersive with the controller. But honestly, it just tends to be kind of annoying. At least for like multiplayer games. I guess for single player, it could be okay. But when you're playing multiplayer games, you want consistency. You want it to feel the same. You don't want to feel like you have to pull harder on the trigger to shoot a sniper rifle when you're playing multiplayer. That's just goofy. Specifically for like a game like Modern Warfare 2, if I'm playing on PS5, I turn off the haptic feedback. I don't want that. But one thing I have noticed is that based off of everything that Microsoft has kind of listed in this leak, it definitely seems like them acquiring Activision Blizzard King is a big step for them going forward. Their goal of trying to get 100 million Xbox Game Pass users on top of the cloud gaming services and stuff like that, the goals that they have for those things, I really do think that acquiring ABK is going to be a huge step forward for them. They will be able to learn the ins and outs of the success of Call of Duty and, you know, how they've been monetizing and stuff like that. And not just for Call of Duty, but like literally all of the ABK like IP and stuff. This shit just sounds crazy, man. Now, whether or not you think this is a good or bad thing, I think depends on, you know, what side of the console war you want to be on, which I don't fucking care about the console war, so I'm just simply talking about this stuff because this is some of the biggest gaming news that's been coming out as of lately, so obviously I want to talk about it. Now, as far as it goes for whether or not you think this is good or bad, I think that's completely up for debate, and that's everyone's opinion. That Wilson was nuts. What was that? We got so many kills from that thing, dude. Now, another big part of this leak was upcoming titles that they had planned. And one thing that I did notice is that there wasn't really any mention of Halo in this at all. But one thing's for certain, there's a lot of Bethesda titles that were mentioned in the leaks. So I think it is possible that Halo just wasn't mentioned because it wasn't considered to be a part of, like, this document, I guess. All right, we got a stealth bomber. Come on, we gotta kill that jug. Air support now! It's gonna end. No. Come on, stealth bomber, get him. Oh, we won that by a lot. That was good. That was real good. Now, some of the stuff that we're seeing on the list of leaked games, I mean, Starfield's on here as well as Redfall. So I think that's also an indicator that this isn't the most recent or up-to-date information. This is stuff that could have been coming out from like 2020. Because there's literally mentions of the calendar year for like 2020, 2021, 2022. So some of this stuff is not even that new. It says title release schedule as well. I don't know if they were anticipating for Starfield to come out in 2021 or if that was just like the announcement for it. But here are some of the other things that were mentioned on this list. We have a remaster of Oblivion. They have a mention on here for Starfield DLC. Now, that was apparently slotted for, like, I think 2022. So, obviously, that's going to be pushed back. That's not going to be the same. We have Doom Year Zero and DLC. They have another expansion for Elder Scrolls Online. They have something called Project Platinum. Now, I don't know if that's a code name for a game or if there actually is going to be a game called Project Platinum, because there's also one called Project Kestrel, and there's an expansion for that. They also have on here licensed IP games, so we have no clue what the hell that means. They have Elder Scrolls 6 on here. They also have a remaster of Fallout 3. More expansions for Elder Scrolls Online, so yeah, we got Dishonored 3 on there. A sequel for Ghostwire Tokyo, and another mention of Doom Year Zero DLC. So I don't know how this was organized or what this was really meant for, but clearly some of these leaks are a little dated. So we don't know exactly what's true. It overall kind of seems like this was a roadmap for Microsoft and Xbox games up until the year 2030. But it doesn't necessarily mean that everything lines up exactly with how these games actually got announced and released, as well as the hardware itself, like the Xbox Series X and S refreshes, as well as the potential for another next-gen console coming out in 2028. Now, I think that timeline could be more realistic, like that could be the time that roughly it's going to happen, but everything else, it actually kind of seems sort of subjective, and definitely subject to change. But either way, this was some of the most interesting leaks that we've seen for Xbox and Microsoft. This definitely was not supposed to happen, and I'm sure they are very mad and upset that this information is out there. Now, as far as goes for my personal take on all of this stuff and what it means to me, I don't know how much this is really going to affect my gaming experience. I think you guys already know how I am when it comes to gaming and stuff, but I don't really lean one way or the other when it comes to gaming, you know? I kind of just play whatever I want to. I'm not a hardcore Xbox player or a hardcore PlayStation player. I actually kind of find myself playing more PC games than anything nowadays. I'm still playing Call of Duty, but I'm also playing Baldur's Gate 3 with my buddies. I'm doing Starfield stuff here and there. I recently downloaded Titanfall 2 because apparently that's working now, so it's like, there's so many different games to play and so many different things to do. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not exactly sure how Xbox is going to get so many people to convert into Game Pass owners, but I really do think that them acquiring Activision and having Call of Duty and potentially trying to get all of those games on Game Pass, that could be their golden ticket. It could definitely help them out quite a lot. But again, that deal has still not fully gone through. We are still waiting to hear back from the UK CMA and their decision about whether or not they're going to approve the deal, and that could have some serious implications if they decide to deny it. I really do think that Microsoft will push through and try to acquire Activision anyway, which is why they really need to come to some kind of agreement, because this deal is like 99% done, and they are 1% away from finally making this thing a reality, and then that is going to change the landscape of Call of Duty going forward for basically forever. It's gonna be fucking nuts. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a good or bad thing, but we will have to wait and see how it plays out. One thing that was not leaked was some kind of like Microsoft roadmap for what they want to do with Call of Duty. That would be really interesting to see. And if or when this deal goes through, I really hope that they, you know, try to give us some encouragement, like give us some kind of roadmap for the future for Call of Duty. That might be some wishful thinking because, I mean, at this point, I don't know if they want any more roadmaps leaking, but either way, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the Xbox leaks. Okay, Siri. This was definitely a really interesting read, and I was so shocked to see that all of this stuff came out. And I definitely want to hear from you guys. What sounds the most interesting from all of these leaks? Are you looking forward to any of the potential console refreshes or any of the games that were mentioned in this leak? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye now. Also, make sure to drop a like.